Welcome to Seoul Television News. We sincerely apologize for starting way behind schedule. Let's begin with the headlines. Over 1,000 persons register for free medical operations under Ebonyi Bewo initiative. Admiral Ibok defends 6 months emergency rule in Rivers State as grants get set to return of power to Governor Fubara. Zambian court sentences 2 persons to prison for attempting to kill President Hichilema with witchcraft. My name is Angela Ekuma, and now the news in detail. Over 1,200 persons have been registered for free medical and surgical operations in the state. The wife of the state governor, Mrs. Uzamaka Nwifuru, stated this during the inauguration of the 3rd batch of the free eye surgery, breast lump removal, fibroid and scrotal hernia health interventions at the Women Development Center, Abakaliki. Government House correspondent Pauline Wanerenwe has details.
The wife of the governor said the medical health care delivery services were organized by her pet project, Better Health for Rural Women, Children and Internally Displaced Persons Foundation, BEWO, in collaboration with Ebonyi State Health Insurance Agency, EBBC. Mrs. Nwifuru urged beneficiaries to take advantage of the medical and surgical operations to improve their health status.
Gives him joy to welcome you all to this life-changing occasion, the flag off of the 3rd phase of our free medical outreach program dedicated to hernia surgeries for adults and children, fibroid surgery for women, lump removal and eye screening and ensuring of eye glasses. Today marks the 3rd phase of registration for free hernia surgery. This is a people-centered health program that has continued to transform life across our communities.
The Commissioner for Health, Dr. Moses Ekuma, and the Secretary, Ebonyi State Health Insurance Agency, Dr. Divine Igwe, reaffirmed state government commitment to the healthcare delivery services of people, adding that over 400 pregnant mothers had been delivered of their children free of charge through government interventions.
Her Excellency is today flagging off the medical and surgical intervention of over 1,000 people to benefit from different medical interventions.
She extended coverage to our elders, children, and residents of dense quarters. Importantly, she offered health insurance to 300 sickle cell warriors, giving them renewed hope and dignity.
Others who spoke included the Vice Chancellor Dufus, Professor Jesse Neke, and a member Bewo Foundation, Mr. Kelechi Mbam, called on people to use the opportunity of the health interventions to better their health status. A fibroid patient, Mrs. Onyemechi Ogodo, appreciated the present administration for the healthcare delivery interventions and promised their prayers for the good of the state. Pauline Wanerenwe, Salt TV News.
It was a gathering of joy and happiness over the weekend as families, friends, and well-wishers gathered at Zoewoko in Ezan North local government area to appreciate God of the universe for remembering one of them, Chief Wancho Ekuma, in an extraordinary way. This time around, the blessing came in a traditional way, a thing that has never happened in the area and possibly the state at large. The report.
It was a gathering of joy and happiness over the weekend as family, friends, and well-wishers gathered at Azeewoko in Ezan North local government area of Ebonyi State to appreciate God and the universe for remembering one of them in an extraordinary way. This time around, the blessing came in a traditional way, a thing that has never happened in the area and possibly in the state at large. The people of Azeewoko and their friends were gathered at the premises of Chief Nwankwo Ekoma to celebrate with him on the occasion of his being privileged to be the one who cut the kola nut with 19 lobes. A feat they said was remarkable. At the gathering was the traditional ruler of Oshewe community, Ezogo Vincent Nweke, who remarked that lobes of kola nuts connotes different meanings in Igbo culture. According to Ezogo Nweke, kola nuts with 7 lobes was usually considered as double progress and outstanding blessing, and most times are being celebrated, saying that this was his very first time of seeing kola nuts with 19 lobes, and prayed that the mystery and blessings associated with it should be made manifest.
This particular kola nut had 19 lobes, and in Ezza culture, kola nut is honored. Not only in Ezza clan, people learn. Those things, those practices, we should not deviate from it. Because we know that this extraordinary kola nut contains a very good future, not only for his family, but for the entire Ezza land and the state at large.
The Commissioner for Rural Development, Mr. Jude Okpo, who was there to celebrate with the people, appreciated God for choosing to bless their own brother in such a mysterious way. He was particularly happy it happened under the leadership of Governor Francis Nwifuru.
What gladdens my heart is not only the fact that this thing that I've never been heard of, a good sign, is not only happening in my community, it's also happening in the administration of my boss, right on the first of Ebonyi. So that's what gladdens my heart. So my message to the family is, and to Umuezoka and the state at large, is that we should pray, earnestly, asking God to bring to manifestation this divine good package that God has shown us the sign in our lifetime.
The lucky celebrant, Chief Nwankwo Ekoma, who was filled with joy for the show of love, prayed God to equally bless all who came to witness the miraculous blessing of God upon him.
Celebrate our kola nut with 19. Thank God for my life and my family.
While the councillor representing Ezza North, Mr. Ikechukwu Ekoma, and Reverend Father Joseph Ukoro, prayed that the good mystery behind it will be felt soon. Highlight was the unveiling and counting of the 19 lobes of the kola nut to the admiration of all present. I am Precious Ebonyi.
The Special Assistant to the Governor on Student Mobilization, Ebonyi State, Angel Odono, has charged students in higher institutions of learning across the state to go out en masse and register for their permanent voter cards ahead of the 2027 general elections. Odono gave the charge during sensitization and familiarization visits to Alex Ekwueme Federal University in Dufalikiwo. The report. Education must be free.
Education must be free. As part of efforts to ensure active participation of the youths, especially students, in the ongoing nationwide continuous voter registration, the Special Assistant to the Governor on Student Mobilization, Angel Odono, stated that the registration and collection of permanent voters' card is a guaranteed civic right for participating in the nation's electoral process. Odono interacted with the students with the aim of identifying their challenges, their living conditions, and the need for more students' participation in the electoral process.
We initiated a campus tour, and the aim is for us to interact with the students, find out their living conditions, find out areas that might be needing government interventions, and also we came to sensitize them on the need for them to get their voters card, the PVC. Now that election is coming very fast, 2027.
Others who spoke in an interview shortly after the event includes the national president, Nais, Mr. Ndubisi Ogbonna, Rep. Ebonyi Central District at the Nigerian Youth Parliament, Honorable Muruku Olisa, and the board chairman, Mr. Okorofo Joshua, disclosed that the purpose of embarking on the campus tour was to give the students adequate orientation on the need to participate in the electoral process to choose a God-fearing leader who would be committed to infrastructural development and good governance.
Our able working essay to the governor on student mobilization deem it fit to visit equal students, to sensitize on the registration of voters card that is going on in the state, to enable them elect our leader during 2027 general election.
We are saying thank you, His Excellency, the Governor of Ebonyi State. Thank you for all you've done for students. Thank you for all that you are yet to do. And thank you for the privilege you have given our comrades to serve in different capacities in the state's government executive council.
We have embarked on campus tour to sensitize our students, and they need to come out and get their EBBC. We are getting ready to vote in for the second time. 2027.
The Student Union President of Alese Kweme Federal University, Ndufali Kiko, Mr. Kelvin Wanko, applauded the students for coming out in large numbers for the sensitization on the need to register for their PVCs and commended Governor Francis Nwifuru for creating an enabling learning environment for the students.
SA to Governor on student mobilization came to enlighten the students on the need for them to get their voters card, to vote the right person, so that they will continue the good work that you have been doing for us in these very states.
According to the team, Ebonyi State government under Governor Francis Nwifuru would continue to place youths, especially students, at the center of its development programs. The event ended with the distribution of food items to the students. Charles Olejino for Sol TV News.
In their determination to fulfill their official mandate and oath of office, members of Local Government Advisory Committee have continued their supervision of projects across the development center in the state. To this end, the committee members visited the 8 development centers in Ohupu local government area. The report.
In their separate speeches, the chairman of the committee, Mr. Oliver Mbam, and the member of the committee, Mr. Eloy Ogbonna, said the committee was saddled with the responsibility of monitoring and supervision of different projects executed by the chairmen of various local government areas and their coordinators, and expressed happiness with the developmental projects executed by some development center coordinators, especially that of Ohupu Development Center, Mr. Ejike Agbo, and admonished others not to take the privilege given to them for granted. At Ngbo West and Ngbo East Development Centers, members of the committee expressed dissatisfaction over the poor performance of the coordinators and admonished them to improve on their performance to justify the allocation given to them to improve the livelihoods of the citizenry.
If you look at the building, you see that the building they are using, you see that NRC building that was built when Ebonyi State was still under Anambra State. And it is unfortunate that the coordinator has refused to take simple instruction, even from when the Ebonyi State House of Assembly Committee on Local Government visited this development center. They insisted that he should complete that permanent site. Till today, the coordinator even confirmed that he has not done anything about it.
On the part of the coordinator of Ohupu Development Center, Mr. Ejike Agbo, and that of Ngbo Central, Mrs. Blessing Adagba, while thanking God for the gift of Governor Francis Nwifuru, promised continued provision of life-touching projects and charged the people to take advantage of the window period provided by INEC to obtain and update their permanent voters' cards to reciprocate the governor's magnanimity come 2027 elections.
Our youthful and useful governor is a God sent. The People's Charter of Needs has described the young man better than whatever we can say. He has done enough within a couple of 2 years. And my sincere prayers that let the good Lord who continue to inspire him, give him more strength and sound health for him to continue to deliver the dividends of democracy to Ebonyans.
The man may move, at least Obu to Ebonyi de Kiba, God before Inani Funai, ụbọchị dị mma karịa ka ọ dị na mbụ. Nne anyị bụ Chief Mrs. Ụzọamaka Ogbonnia Nwifuru na-atụrụanyịkwa ba inyecha anyị ihe anyị eji nyeche ndị nọ na village jiri neteche ha.
You're still watching Soul Television News. At this point, we'll take a short break. More stories after now. Stay with us. You're welcome back. Dangote Refinery's newly acquired compressed natural gas CNG trucks on Monday began loading petroleum products at a facility for direct supply to filling stations nationwide. Journalists at the launch of the first batch of the trucks reported that the trucks have begun taking turns at the gantry to load product. Details.
The refinery announced in August that it had received the first batch of its 4,000 CNG-powered trucks for the fuel distribution program, which was initially said to commence on August 15. During a courtesy visit by the Africa Rice Center at his Lagos office on Sunday, Aliko Dangote reiterated that his decision to adopt direct fuel distribution was to reduce dependency on third-party carriers for fuel distribution in Nigeria. According to him, the move was not only a matter of strategic choice but a national imperative. Last week, the Depot and Petroleum Products Marketers Association of Nigeria accused the refinery of offering lower prices to international buyers while quoting higher prices for local off-takers. According to them, while they welcome the refinery, they allege that the refinery does not offer free product delivery to buyers, adding that constant price slashes by the refinery and to bypass them in distribution were not patriotic but a business move intended to monopolize the downstream market. Dangote, however, said it decided to decision the single-point mooring system fuel distribution to avoid an extra cost of 75 naira per litre in handling charges, which would translate to 1.5 trillion annually.
As Rivers State prepares for the return of Governor Similaye Fubara on September 18, following the 6-month emergency rule in the state, the sole administrator, Vice Admiral Ibok Etex Ibas, retired, has defended his tenure, stating that he fulfilled President Bola Tinubu's mandate and stabilized the oil-rich state. However, the opposition parties called for an investigation into Ibas' tenure, particularly his management of the state's resources during his 6-month stay in Brick House. Details.
The People's Democratic Party described Ibas' 6-month administration as a waste of time, declaring it unconstitutional, a violation of democratic norms, and demanding an investigation, while the new Nigerian People's Party has dismissed the entire 6-month rule under Ibas as an exercise in futility, claiming that it lacked legitimacy from the onset. But in contrast to the opposition's stance, the All Progressive Congress praised Ibas for maintaining peace and upholding the rights of citizens during his time as sole administrator. The party lauded his effort in ensuring that democratic processes, especially the conduct of local government elections, remained intact, describing his leadership as a stabilizing force in a previously tense political environment. Rivers State had been engulfed in political turmoil for nearly 2 years, largely due to a power tussle between former Governor Nyesom Wike and his successors, Similaye Fubara, which resulted in a prolonged governance deadlock. In response to the crisis, President Tinubu declared a state of emergency on March 18 and appointed Ibas as the sole administrator to manage the state affairs during the period. With a few days to the end of his tenure, the sole administrator has commenced the transition process ahead of the president's reinstatement of the suspended governor by September 18.
A court in Zambia has sentenced 2 men to 2 years in prison for attempting to use witchcraft to kill President Hakainde Hichilema. Zambia Leonard Fury and Mozambican Justin Mabulis Kandud were convicted under the Witchcraft Act after being arrested in December with charms in their possession, including a live chameleon. Details.
Magistrate Fine Mayambo said in his ruling that the case has been closely followed in Zambia, as this was the first time anyone was put on trial for attempting to use witchcraft against a president. The prosecution alleged that Fury and Kandude were hired by a fugitive former member of parliament to bewitch Hichilema, despite their insistence that they were bona fide traditional healers. The court found them guilty on 2 counts under the Witchcraft Act. The two accepted ownership of the charms. Fury further demonstrated that the chameleon's tail, once pricked and used in the ritual, would cause death to occur within 5 days. The lawyer for the 2 men, Agrippa Malando, said his clients pleaded for leniency as they were first-time offenders and urged the court to fine them, but the request was rejected. Magistrate Mayambo noted that many people in Zambia, like in other African countries, believe in witchcraft, even though it was not scientifically proven. The law was designed to protect society from fear and harm caused by those claiming to have the power to carry out acts of witchcraft, he said. Lawyer Dixon said that the Witchcraft Act was passed during colonial rule in 1914.
China and the United States resumed trade talks on Monday in Madrid, seeking to narrow differences on trade and technology that have strained relations between the world's 2 largest economies. Talks were started at Spain's foreign ministry a day after delegations led by U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bansett and Chinese Vice Premier Hen Lingfeng opened the latest round of discussions. Details.
The meetings are expected to continue through Wednesday. Officials from the 2 nations were seen entering the headquarters of the ministry on Monday morning. The agenda included 2 of the thorniest issues in the bilateral relationship: President Donald Trump's threat of steep tariff on Chinese imports and Washington's demand that TikTok be sold to a non-Chinese owner or face a U.S. ban by September 17. Trade tensions escalated sharply earlier this year, with tit-for-tat tariffs reaching triple digits and snarling supply chains. Both governments later agreed to lower their tariffs, with the United States imposing 30% duties on imports of Chinese goods and China hitting U.S. products with a 10% levy, but the temporary truce expires in November. Beijing urged Washington last week to resolve disputes on the basis of mutual respect and equal consultations. The meeting could lay groundwork for a possible summit between Trump and Chinese leader Xi Jinping later this year.
And now to end the news, a quick look at our major stories. Over 1,200 persons have been registered for free medical and surgical operations in the state. As Rivers State prepares for the return of Governor Similai Fubara on September 18, following the 6-month emergency rule in the state, the sole administrator, Vice Admiral Ibok Etek Ebas, retired, has defended his tenure, stating that he fulfilled President Bola Tinubu's mandate and stabilized the oil-rich state. A court in Zambia has sentenced 2 men to 2 years in prison for attempting to use witchcraft to kill President Hakainde Hichilema. And that's the news. Many thanks for watching. My name is Angela Ekuma.